right, here we go. We got back today looking at probably some lat pull downs to start off, go into some sort of row. I'm thinking probably seated cable rows. I just like the feeling of those. And then I'll finish off with some high to low pull downs on some sort of pull down machine. We'll see what we can get our hands on today. But yeah. You know, something that was bothering me that I forgot to mention yesterday on the dieting tips video was Greek yogurt. I can't believe I made a mistake so simple, but that's another great source of protein. I love it for breakfast. It's convenient. What I'd recommend are those the Oikos brand Greek yogurt. Those things are freaking delicious. It's like 90 calories a pop, 15 grams of protein. Very easy, very convenient. You can, like, what I like to do sometimes is I'll take two of those bad boys, pop them open, toss them in a bowl, and maybe put a little bit of granola on there. You can get like healthier granolas and higher in protein, but sprinkle granola, you know, drizzle of honey, cut up some strawberries and blueberries, and you got a nice little power bowl there. About like 30 grams of protein and somewhere around like 300 to 325 calories, and it is filling, let me tell you. Would highly recommend. But yeah, nothing too crazy today. I had to get my blood drawn to do a tuberculosis test to get approved for a volunteering position at a hospital. So my right arm was feeling a little bit sore. I don't know, we'll see what happens today in the gym. I don't think it should affect me too much. The forearms should be primed and ready to go. But feeling good today. Back is loose after that golf. It's feeling nice. Coming off a rest day is always good. I normally like to do a little bit of cardio on rest days, but just decided to take it easy yesterday. The hamstrings were saying no thank you. Yeah. Didn't follow my own advice. I think I skipped RDLs the last couple of times I did legs, but of course in the video the first video, I did do the RDLs. But feeling good. You know, something I was thinking about recently was changing up some of the movements I've been doing for back, because for the longest time I've kind of just been in this rhythm of lat pull down, cable rows, and then finishing off with like some other sort of pull down for the lats. But those barbell rows have been calling to me. Although I know they aren't the most effective movement, I freaking love barbell rows. Holy crap. I used to do, like, I started off my training with a football program kind of in high school. I'm sure a lot of you guys started off your journey doing some sort of football training, but you know, I can't quite shake that loose. You know, for the first like couple of years, at the beginning of last year, I still couldn't quite shake the power cleaning and the deadlifting and all that. It's just so fun, even though it isn't the most effective. But I don't know. I think sometimes having a little bit of fun is okay. Sacrificing a little bit of fun or a little bit of efficiency and muscle building for fun in the gym, it's not a bad thing. But I don't know. Been thinking of picking those more powerlifting type of movements back up. But you got to be careful. I mean, a lot of guys I know will just kind of, I've seen it. They learn these football lifts in high school, and then once they start lifting on their own, they just can't shake them. And while it is fun and you will get stronger doing movements like that, they really aren't the greatest for growing muscle. I mean, I attributed part of the reason why I wasn't making gains for like the first 4 years I was lifting to my diet. And you know, that is true, but things aren't so simple. There is a little bit of nuance a lot of the time. Usually if you're not making progress, it's not just one thing that's holding you back. There's probably multiple factors to look at. And one of those factors that I wasn't looking at was my training. Now, the training style I was doing was very little volume, and it was a lot more like just focused on power. I mean, you could guess with with what you're doing for like a football program. You're looking for explosiveness, not really muscular failure. You're trying to train those fast twitch muscle fibers, not the nice and controlled and slow and big volume you do for bodybuilding and aesthetics. But yeah, a lot of people don't consider that. I mean, sticking with a powerlifting or football type of training, you're not gonna get very, very big off of doing stuff like that. So I would recommend changing up the training style. Again, if something isn't working, just change it. And this could be in your diet or your training or really anything. I feel like that's a pretty good rule to live by. Now, I'm on some roads I haven't traversed before, coming from the opposite side of town to get into the gym here today, so might be getting a little bit lost. I don't know if any of you have watched One Piece, but I feel like Zoro right now, man. I mean, in my friend group, I'm not known as the Zoro. We have another friend who's terrible with directions, but yeah, call me Roronoa the way I'm lost on these streets right now. I don't know if any of you have watched Jujutsu Kaisen, but I'm patiently waiting for that 3rd season. I'm super pumped up. I hear it might be dropping January, so we got like 6 months to go, but if it doesn't get confirmed, I'm gonna lose it. I've already been waiting ages. I caught up to the manga. If any of you have read it, would highly recommend. It's great. The brain rot is crazy too, so yeah. But anyways, we're getting sidetracked. Let's just get in the gym today, pump it out, work hard, go hard, be hard. Pause. Let's have a good workout. Anyways, enough talking. Let's just get straight into it. Got a quick warm-up set done here. We'll probably try to do 2 heavy sets, go hard to failure, 8 good ones, and then we'll finish out as many partials as we can just to finish out. We'll probably move right on the cable rows after that, but no reason to wait around. Let's just get right into it. Come on. You know, I really try not to use too much momentum on those, but I think it's okay if you've gotten quite a few solid reps in there with a lot of control. As long as you aren't leaning back extremely far and throwing yourself back and forward, should be okay. But the focus here is I tried to go not as slow as I could, but at a pretty controlled pace on the way down just to make sure I was eliminating any chance of using momentum there. But that was a good one. We're nice and pumped up. I think that warm-up set does wonders to feeling the pump on that first part set, but one more good one. Move on to cable rows. enough of that there. Let's get on some cable rows. All right, the goal in these rows, go heavy, go hard. I like to load up as much weight as I can, in control, obviously, but to really try to get that thickness in there. I really focus on super control on most of my other movements for back, but this one I feel like it's okay to really push it, just because you can use a little bit of that sway motion of the row really helps you push away, and sometimes it takes the burden off a little bit. So I try to make sure I keep the weight heavy enough so that the swaying kind of gets taken out of the equation, and I'm not really able to like jerk forward and backward as much. But that being said, let's just get straight into the first set. Plan to do 3 here. Maybe a little bit too heavy. Drop one. Should have probably brought my straps in today. It's a bit of a mistake. Keep that in mind for next time. It's gonna make a big difference with the forearms. But the pump is insane right now. Drop that one more. Forearms are killing me. I need to bring in those straps for sure next time. Yeah. One more of those. We can move on to our last couple movements here on back. Really starting to feel those. I think that's enough there. Let's move on to some high-low pull downs. Let's go. Now, the word around town from Mr. Jay Cutler is that these are great for the lats. And the reasoning he was talking about was, I mean, if you think about it, if you're doing a front double bicep, it's kind of similar to like a reverse grip pull down, especially with this machine. I tried it out and my back was blasted. And you know, of all my years of training, I never used this machine. I used it for the first time about a month ago, and man, I would highly recommend it if you haven't given it a try. I would say pick a weight where you can control it, get a decent stretch on it, or get around like 8 to 12 reps, and you're golden. If you want to go a little heavier too, I'm sure it'll work, but highly recommend it. Let's get started on this first set.
If I have to sometimes, I'll start switching to single arm on a movement if it got a little crazy there. But you know, I just made a pretty rookie mistake here. I mean, I consider myself a true professional, but I made quite the rookie mistake. Should have brought those straps in. Feeling the forearms big time. It's really taking away from getting the full back pump. It still feels great, but could have been done a little bit better. I think one more set here and we'll move on to the last back movement. We'll do another row variation. Let's get it. See if we can try this high row machine here. I would do a low row, but I don't think we have one in this gym. The gym back on the campus rec does have a low row. I do like to throw those in on occasion. Just good to hit the back from like, I don't know if you've heard of the 3 angles, but it's kind of like a high, middle, and low type of movements. You know, just depending on like the angle you're pulling from. It's pretty basic. That's an oversimplification, but you get the idea. Yeah. Do 2 sets here, and then I almost forgot about biceps. Now, a lot of people don't like to do back and biceps, but I'm a back and biceps proponent. I don't really like to split them up generally. First of all, because I feel like a barbarian after doing biceps and back. It just feels crazy. I mean, I already have a forearm and a bicep pump, but it feels crazy if you throw in a bicep in the end. And also, I don't like to do excessive volume though on the biceps. I feel like if I split it up onto different days, my biceps are overdeveloping, and I have a little bit of an issue of overdevelopment with my biceps compared to my tris. So I throw them in on the same day just because I'm just as fatigued, and then I really only do like 1 movement for them. Maybe superset in with something for the forearms, and that's it, about 3 sets. Anyways, we'll bang out these 2 sets on the high rows and get right into biceps and finish out. Try to do a little bit of those wide lean back curls in the chair. It'd be good for getting a big stretch on that bicep. And then I'll just do 3 sets there. Making up a pretty light weight for me here. Just gonna run 25. And then I'll superset those with some slow and controlled hammer curls just to make sure the forearms are in the game. Might use the same dumbbells for those just to take it easy, especially since the biceps have already gotten pretty fatigued off the back. But just hop right into the first set. Biceps are easy. I mean, there's nothing too complicated about them. You just gotta do something at the end of the day. So let's do this. veins are really popping out during the sets. It's starting to scare even me. I'm not used to that just yet, but definitely do 2 more of those. Don't really want to drop the weight, but might lessen the reps if needed at all. But yeah. Let's get a re-grip real fast. Fatigue's really building up there. A little bit of swinging involved, but overall pretty good. One more. We're out of here. Pump is gnarly. You can really feel a huge stretch in the biceps on that drop down on this curl. I would recommend it if you're not a fan of preacher curls. You might like these just because you have a little bit of wiggle room with the elbows, but you still get the benefit of that big stretch. But anyways, that's it. See if we can get a pose down when I get back home. Let's go. Let's see if we can get home as fast as possible before this pump disappears. Get a nasty pose down. But before that, there's something very important I want to talk about. This just came to me. I had an epiphany walking out of the gym, so to say. There's a question I get asked very frequently, and especially as it pertains to back, but this could apply to other muscle groups. A lot of the time, I get people coming up to me, some of my friends, most of them usually saying, Nassim, like what? How do you feel the back movement? Like I'm doing the back movements and I can't feel it. Am I doing it right? And a lot of the time I'll respond with, well, let me see what you're doing. And like clockwork, I go in and the form looks just fine. I mean, there's nothing like super wrong. I mean, it looks solid. But this is an important point I want to make here. A lot of the time when you're doing a movement, if you don't feel like, you know that pump or like the muscular fatigue happening, it doesn't necessarily mean the movement isn't working. And I know this might sound like counterintuitive, but it's true. It really is. I mean, you might notice that like you've done a workout before and you really didn't feel all too much as you were doing it, but when you wake up the next day, you're sore. Now, we don't have to get into semantics about being too sore and poor recovery and all that, but
again, I feel like this is an issue that a lot of guys struggle with, like feeling the movement, and it's something people tend to worry about excessively, in my opinion. I think as long as you're doing the movements with the correct form, close to correct form, doesn't have to be perfect, and you're not at risk of getting injured because of the way you're doing the rep, I would say that that's a solid rep, and you really don't have to worry about like really feeling it all too much. I would start to worry, however, if you're an extremely experienced lifter and it's been a few years and you still aren't feeling the movement. At that point, I'd be a little bit concerned about how good your form was and if it was really like solid form. Because another reason, okay, let's get into something important here as well. Another reason why I tell a lot of my friends that are just starting not to worry about things like feeling the back movement is because I myself didn't feel the back movement for the first year maybe of training. However, as you build that mind-muscle connection and your muscles get bigger and bigger, and that mind-muscle connection gets stronger and stronger, so to speak, you're going to get better at controlling those muscle fibers more directly and more accurately. And you're gonna get better at recruiting motor units. And suddenly you'll be able to really feel how much and how hard and you'll feel those fibers really pulling and stretching. But that's something that comes with experience and a little bit of muscle maturity. You're not gonna get that off the rip if you don't have anything there to start with. For example, how do you expect to feel your lat if your lat isn't really there because you haven't done too much work on it and you don't have the mind muscle connection either? But just recently for me, I would say within the last year, I really feel like I gained full control over my back in terms of movements. And I would say back is probably the most difficult of the muscle groups to like really start feeling. Because take legs, for example. I feel like legs is a pretty easy muscle group to sort of feel as you're doing that. I mean, everybody has that memory of their first real leg day, or they did, say, squats, or they did lunges or split squats or something, or leg extensions, and the quad just like lights up on fire, and it's like, holy crap. Everyone knows that feeling. The quad is a relatively easy muscle, in my opinion, to kind of pump out and get that feeling going with the blood flow. I mean, it is a big muscle for sure. Same thing for biceps, another easy one. I mean, it's not a very complex movement. You do the curl and you feel it instantly, but again, it's important to know that doesn't exactly correlate directly with whether or not your muscle is working. It can be a good indicator, but it's not a rule. It's a good general rule, but it's not an absolute truth or anything like that you need to really be worrying about. But yeah, when it comes to other muscle groups, actually, I don't even know where I was going there. I think that's pretty much everything you need to know about feeling the muscle and all that with back. Although one issue that could be causing that is like you're either not using enough weight or you're using too much weight. That is like one little caveat. I mean, if you're not using enough weight, you can just throw that thing around for ages. I mean, that just means like you're one of those guys that isn't pushing themselves, and we don't like to deal with people like that. I like to promote going hard. As long as you're training hard, I think that's a job well done. Really, as long as you showed up and tried. But if you're showing up and kind of half-assing the movements and you're expecting to get the results you want, I'm sorry, you're just not using enough weight, and that could be a reason you're not feeling the muscle. Also, there's the opposite issue. If you're in there ego lifting and using all momentum, complete momentum, you're not using any of your muscle, you're not gonna feel it either, especially if you can barely move that weight. I mean, there's some benefits to doing static holds, but I mean, if you're not getting like an assist by somebody in doing a controlled eccentric with a heavy weight, you're really not getting much out of doing something like that. I gotta pass this slow truck really quickly. But yeah, it's a very frequent question I get asked all the time, but I wouldn't worry about it as like a major point of concern. Really what matters, I think, is getting in there, actually doing the movement with a solid effort, and then making sure you eat well and recover and sleep. And that's pretty much it. I mean, the king of the issues for most people is either diet, sleep, and lack of training. I mean, really, those are the only three things that you have to worry about when it comes to muscle growth. or let's say fat loss, if that's what you're interested in as well. But a lot of the times, instead of focusing on the simple things, I mean, everybody knows like what they need to do to gain muscle or lose weight. It's no magic secret. There isn't a special workout or like a special trick you can pull out of the bag just to like suddenly lose all the fat like in an instant, or target fat loss or anything like that. There's no secret, there's no trick other than what everyone does. Oh shoot. I'm still a Neanderthal, guys. Cut me some slack on the falling camera. But there's no secret really other than plain hard work, controlling the calories, up or down if you're bulking or cutting, and making sure you're getting adequate rest. I mean, getting into the semantics and the small details about you know, which superfood should I try to eat here, or you know, I heard this movement was more optimal than this one, so I don't really like to do that. Yeah, I don't think that stuff really matters. I mean, if you're an elite athlete and you're trying to get that extra 0.5% difference, that could be that could be like the game changer between a championship and losing. I don't think like asking questions and really worrying about the things like supplements and all these like niche exercises and stuff that'll give you maybe a marginal boost, if even any, is gonna make all that much of a difference compared to just fixing your calorie and protein intake and training hard. There is no secret. Which reminds me of one of my biggest pet peeves. I think I mentioned it. Anyone that talks about targeted fat loss, or like I wanna lose fat specifically in my stomach, man, it's I'm not mad at those people. I'm mad at the industry. I mean, why have we spread this lie that you can target fat loss in specific parts of the body, or do things like toning the muscle? The lean is law guys who talk about toning the muscle, just they really get on my nerves. I mean, I can't stand it. I don't know what it is. I'm not a hater, but I don't know what it is. It's just so counter to my lifting philosophy. I mean, as long as you love it and as long as it works for you, go for it. But let's not spread lies about toning the muscle and targeting fat loss. I mean, come on. I mean, we all know it's all done by plain cardio, calorie deficit. That's it. That's all you need to do. There is no super exercise. You can't do those ab crunches. You're pretty much just doing cardio at the end of the day if you're doing that. You can't do like a special ab workout to like magically make those abs appear. The abs are built in the kitchen and they're strengthened in the gym. If you want to train them. Oh, just watch a dude blast by a red light. That's the third one in the last month. Man, actually no, that's like the fifth one. I've seen a lot of that recently around here. This town is going to shambles. Just kidding. I love my hometown. But yeah, that's enough talk about pet peeves. I'm getting myself all riled up. I'm just an animal. Anyways, let's focus this energy into the pose down when we arrive. I think I'm ready to rip the tarp off and see what we got cooking. I can still feel that pump coursing through. I don't think I'm gonna be as veiny as if I was at the gym. Pause. But I think it will still look pretty freaking freaky. So that's enough of that. I'll see you for the final pose down. All right, here we go. Trying out a new angle for the pose down today. Let me know if this works a little bit better. I'll take a look, after the video's done, but we'll just see. Let's just get right into it. We'll hit some upper body poses. Rip the tarp off. I got held up slightly between getting back and being able to start the pose down, so we'll just do this one for practice. I'm not quite pumped up anymore, as you can see, but there should still be like a residual pump left over. But anyways, let's get the glasses on. Let's get this going. Really want to try to maybe pull those arms back a little bit, lift up a little bit more. Let's try that one more time. Okay. Exhale all the air. pretty good right there. All right. Let's try a front lat spread. I don't think we did this one last time. Okay. It's looking all right. Let's just try it one more time. Definitely a weaker pose. Go with a back lat spread. I'll try this one. Definitely need to work on this. Of course, we'll do a side chest. Okay, good. We already did a front double bicep. What else can we do? Ah, yes, of course, the back double bicep. How could I forget? Here we go. We'll have to watch this one back on the tape. Alrighty, that's it for today. Pump was pretty freaky. I'm gonna see what I can do about getting a pose down immediately after the lift next time. I think it might be possible. I found a hidden little corner that I might be able to use, but we're looking pretty good right now. We'll see what happens. But yeah, thank you so much for watching today. If you liked the video, please leave a like, subscribe, comment if you have any fitness questions. I would love to address any questions or answer anything. And yeah, thank you so much. Peace.